Welcome to Unified Champion Spotlight. My name is Craig Tornquist, and this is the program where I get to interview the stars of the inclusion revolution. And today we have a gentleman who is all in on unified sports here in Indiana, and his name is Alan Bodenstein. His athletes call him Coach, though, right? Are you just Coach? Are you Coach B or Coach Bodenstein?
Coach B.
Coach B, very good. Alan is the adaptive PE teacher for Northwest Allen County School District. He is, get this now, the unified flag football coach, the unified bocce coach, the unified track and field coach, the unified bowling coach, and has also got a thriving unified basketball program there in Northwest Allen counties. And I am so excited to visit with you today. We actually got to meet in person at the Unified Bocce State Championship. And you are one of those coaches who has become totally invested in this. Coach B, let me ask you, how long have you been involved with Champions Together?
Well, I switched jobs from an elementary PE teacher to an adapted PE teacher about 7 years ago. And right away they asked if I'd kind of get involved in this. And at the time I was coaching soccer. I coached soccer for 39 years. And it was tough to kind of pull myself away from soccer, but I just started having so much fun with the Unified. I actually left coaching soccer, and I'm all on board with the unified sports now.
Well, for those people who don't know what an adaptive PE teacher is, you're in all of the buildings there in your school system, but how is an adaptive PE teacher different than a PE teacher?
So I work with kids that have adapted PE in their IEP, and I might just go into their PE class and adapt what's going on there with their general PE class. I may pull them out and do one-on-one work based on some work that they need to do, or I may just do a class of kids with intellectual disabilities or physical disabilities, and I might just do a class where I do activities that they can all participate in.
Prior to you taking this position, had you ever heard of unified sports before?
No.
So now you're you left the soccer world and you jumped into the four big sports that are sanctioned by the IHSAA and Special Olympics Indiana. How have unified sports impacted the students that you've been working with for the last several years?
It's changed the whole culture in our schools, from the administration, the NACS administration, to just the high school administration, the kids, my athletic director, Dan Ginder. Everybody's 100% in. And the kids with intellectual disabilities, they'll walk down the hall, and where they used to have their head down because they didn't want anybody to talk to them, now it's their heads are up, they're getting high fives, people know their name. I think it's changed everything about the school corporation. I can't go a day without going into a school without seeing one of our t-shirts on a kid.
Well, and we talk about the inclusion revolution, and it really is playing out that way then.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, you have several of your own children have been partners in unified sports. So you've gotten to watch them have this experience, and then you get to visit with them at home, I'm assuming, in the evening about it. How did unified sports change their worldview?
I just think it gave them a different perspective on life. My kids went into it thinking, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to help those kids. And they did. They went in and they created these relationships, and not just in-school relationships. Our program, the kids go out to dinner together. They go to movies together. They do all that stuff. But it also made them realize what's really important in life. It's forming those relationships, and it's understanding that everybody wants the same thing. They want to belong. They want to have friends. They want to do those things. And I think for my kids, they were good kids to start with, but in the end, I think the program gave them more than they gave the program in the sense that You know, most of the kids walk out of this program going, wow, that really helped me. You know, most kids go into this, including my own kids, going, I'm going to help. And they walk away going, boy, those kids really helped me. You know, and
That's
that's
cool.
the amazing thing about it.
So you've been a coach of these sports, and you have obviously, in your time being a unified coach, encountered a lot of other unified coaches.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the qualities that you would suggest a successful unified coach have?
Patience.
Why?
Definitely the patience. Adaptability.
Why patience? Why is that important?
Because it takes time. Everything takes time. You know, as a soccer coach, I put something out on the field. I explain the activity. The kids go out there, and for the most part, they did it. You know, with the adaptive stuff, you got to really work through things, and you got to convince some of these kids that that's the way it should be. So it does take patience. You got to laugh a lot along the way, because a lot of funny things happen that wouldn't happen in a non-unified practice. So you have to make sure that you have the patience. You have to make sure that you're adaptable. You can adapt on the fly. Things change all the time, real quick. Okay. Case in point, I might have a kid that decides he wants to sit down on the middle of a basketball court instead of practice. So we have to figure out a way that we play around that.
How do you balance that with what I'm guessing, if you're like every other coach that I've met with unified sports, you still like to win, and there is a competitive aspect to this. And so how do you balance that flexibility and the willingness to adapt and a sense of humor with still wanting to win?
Okay, so unify, and this is something I think a lot of people don't understand. Unified sports are competitive sports, and we all want to win. We all want to be successful, but you have to define success a little differently here. I think my kids win every time they go on the field. The score may not say so, but my kids are out there. They're having a good time. They've tried their hardest. They never go out there and not try their hardest. They're doing what we ask them to do. They're working with their partners. What more can you ask? I mean, at the end of the day, did you lose? Maybe the score says you lose. But when the kids are getting on the bus after a loss, and they go, "Where are we going to eat?" They forgot they lost.
Yeah.
They couldn't care what the score
They
was.
lost, but they still had a great day.
Yeah, exactly. It's a better day for them than it would have been 20 or 30 years ago.
So Champions Together is now in one form or another in 300 high schools across the state of Indiana. And in the last 8, 9, 10 years, there has been this group of unified coaches who are outstanding educators. They've been very successful, and they love it. And now they're starting to decide that there needs to be a group. This Unified Coaches Association is what I specifically want to talk to you about today. This is a new concept that you've been in on since the very early phases, but was this your idea, or did you hear about the Unified Coaches Association from someone?
Well, I didn't hear about it from someone, and be honest with you, I can't remember if it was my idea or if it was Lee Lonzo's idea, but one of us started talking to the other about it, and we were like, well, let's go for it, because I was in the middle of a situation where I had been volunteering for the first few years, coaching basically every day for the school year. And, things need to progress. And I was looking at it more like, if I can't be here and somebody else needs to be here, are they going to be able to find somebody to volunteer? Right. Or should I try and set the program up so that it's a paid coaching position, just like all the other sports? If the school is considering it varsity, then it needs to be considered varsity in every way. Every other program is considered varsity. So I think that's when the idea popped in my head that we need to have a coaches association that maybe helps coaches that are in the same position I was in when I wasn't battling Northwest Allen County, because I said they're all in, but it was just a way of figuring out, the amount of hours I put in compared to maybe our football coach. I don't deserve to be on that same pay scale as our football coach. Okay. I don't deserve to be on the same pay scale as our basketball coach. So we just need to figure out where it was that I belong based on the time I put So Lee and I started talking about, hey, maybe other people need help with this. And we started talking about, you know what, we don't have awards. We don't have state awards for track and field and flag football. We don't have all state. We don't have, all region stuff. We don't have coach of the year. So we started talking about it, and, kind of the momentum started to grow. And Lee and I decided to invite some other people into the conversation. And we basically invited in, I think we're up to maybe 6, 7 coaches. And then Bruce Wolf from the recently retired athletic director from Carmel.
Yep.
Is our executive director. And Bobby Cox, who just retired from IHSAA, is going to be our assistant to Bruce. I don't really consider them assistant and whatever. I think they're going to equally share.
Oh, no, I think Bruce is delighted to call Bobby his assistant.
Yeah, he is. So right before everything started to fall apart with COVID, we were able to get together at the Special Olympics Indiana convention down in Noblesville. And we were able to get together with coaches and talk about what our ideas were. And from there, we got a list of people that were interested. And we had a bit of a stumble because then the COVID thing hit and was like, I was trying to figure out how to, teach remotely. I am not, a wizard with electronics and, putting lesson plans up there and doing all the stuff I needed to do. I just had to take a time out from putting everything together. But once everything kind of settled down, we started working on some bylaws and submission statements and different things like that. And we're finally to the point now where we're just waiting on a few things and we're ready to launch.
So you're getting the 501c3. This is going to be a legitimate organization.
Yes.
What do you know? Can you paraphrase what the mission is of the association?
No, so I'll read it.
Okay, well, good, even better. I didn't know if you'd have it there or not.
The mission is to promote and encourage unified sports as an integral and equal component of education-based athletics in Indiana high schools, to provide an organization that represents and advocates for the interests of all parties in high school unified sports, including athletes, coaches, parents, and administration, to promote the highest standard of sportsmanship among coaches, student athletes, parents, fans, and school personnel. That's the mission statement.
So at the end of the state bocce tournament, there was a brief call out for if any unified coaches want to learn more about this. And I think all 15 coaches that were there came over and joined that group. What was the enthusiasm that you sensed from them? Did you get from them that, yeah, we'd definitely like to learn more about this?
Absolutely. And I think that the things people are looking most forward to are, number one, the clinics. Because, there were coaches at the bocce tournament Saturday that had never really coached bocce.
Yeah.
And it's like, we did a couple topics on bocce on our first little convention clinic that we had a couple months ago. But I think they were excited about the education piece of it. And I think they were excited about the advocating piece of it, where hopefully we can help come in and advocate for their programs so that their programs are on equal ground as any other varsity sport in their schools.
Why are you personally so excited about this group?
I don't know. It's just, I love building things, and it's just like, when you find such a great group of people to do it with, you can't not be excited about it. I look at Lee Lonzo, Bobby Cox, Bruce Wolf, and I'm going, I can't believe that those are the 3 that are helping us run this.
Yeah.
It's like a dream team, and then I look at the coaches that, we have working, and I didn't mention those guys. I'm going to read them off because I don't want to forget anybody. Mike Branham from Bedford North Lawrence, he coaches football there. Ryan Pepple from East Noble, basically like me, coaches everything. Todd Shealy from Elkhart, Brooke Fleener from Bloomington, and David Prokop from Valpo. Mike, and I can never pronounce his name because it's spelled Zmija, from Valpo. He was the assistant coach at Valpo, but he's since moved on to a school in the Chicago district, but he's still getting involved. He's still involved helping out with it. So that group has been phenomenal. We all have a little bit of different expertises, and I think everything is meshed really well. In that group, I think we have probably 4 state championship coaches, because Mike Branham won flag football. Ryan Peppel has won bocce, and David from Valpo has now won track and field and bocce.
Yeah.
So it's not only a unique group in our strengths, but also some really good coaches.
Yeah. Is there one of those coaches, and I can tell in your voice that you're genuinely excited about working with all of them, but is there one of the names on that list or another unified coach that perhaps we haven't talked about that really inspires you, that when you're with them, you just love to watch them work with their students and you think, yeah, that coach, they know what they're doing.
Okay.
And
I call him the Godfather, and it's Ryan Peppel from East Noble. I mean, that guy is amazing. Everything he does for his kids, the organization, always puts a good team on the field no matter what the sport is. He's amazing. He really is. And I've learned a lot from him. I've learned a ton from him. And I love making fun of him too.
If there's a coach watching right now or an aspiring unified coach that wants to learn more about the Unified Coaches Association, where can they go to learn more?
Okay, we do have a Facebook page. It's I wrote it down. Hold on. Unified Coaches Association of Indiana is our Facebook page. We have a Twitter. It's @UnifiedCoaches is our Twitter. And I believe we have an Instagram, but that one I couldn't find. So I told you I'm pretty computer non-savvy.
I'm right there with you.
And then if people needed to get in touch with me, I'm glad to give out my cell number. It's 260-557-4901, and they can call me with the questions and whatever.
Excellent. All right, this is one of my my favorite questions, and we'll finish with this one. When you think of some of the highlights of coaching unified teams, are there a couple of moments that come to mind where you think, I am so glad I am doing this, and I am so glad I was here to see what I just saw?
So I'll give you 3 quickies.
Great.
First one was we're at the state finals for track and field. First time we made it. It was 18-19. And we had some issues. We had a girl get sick, so we lost we lost some points there, and whatever. We had a good time. We came in 12th out of 12 teams at the state finals. When they announced 12th place was Carroll High School, my kids were louder than any other school that got announced after them. So I think that's just so cool, because my partners really hyped the athletes up, and they get excited because, I mean, we went down there to have a great time. And again, we're getting on the bus and it's like, where are we going to eat? So 12th place doesn't mean anything to them. They went to
we were here, man. We made it to state. This is awesome.
State finals, and we're going out to eat. That's all that matters. My second one is we fundraised to purchase Varsity Jackets for every athlete in our program that letters. So they get a free varsity jacket. All the sewing, all the embroidery gets donated by the company that we get it from. And then we fundraise to buy the jacket itself. And just giving it to those athletes, and we usually present them during a basketball game at halftime. And just seeing the kids' faces and the parents' faces is just amazing. It makes everything worthwhile. And then the last one, and this is going to be on the back of our shirts. One of these shirts. We always put a little motto on our T-shirts that we make. This one was it was in a football scrimmage last year, and we were taking care of this team pretty handily. So we decided to put 5 athletes in to play defense. And they all looked at us coaches with like panic and fear in their eyes. And then one of my athletes turned to the other four and said, "Don't worry, guys, this is our time to shine." And it's like, we were like, oh my gosh, because he meant it. It wasn't like it wasn't a joke or anything. He really meant that this was their time to shine. It was 5 athletes, no partners, and he inspired them and they did great. So that's my other story. I mean, everything is just so heartwarming. You walk away, you laugh a ton. I got to have 10,000 pictures of the different events and stuff, and I keep them all. I'll never get rid of those pictures. It's all so amazing.
I love that, and that would be great on the back of his shirt, and I can see him saying it, and hey, this is what we've been waiting for. Let's go take care of this. We got this. So that I love that. Yep. What did I forget to ask you?
No, I think you covered everything that we had talked about.
Is there a scheduled meeting, or are the meetings open to coaches right now? Are you wanting them to start joining you, or are you a month away from that?
Not yet. We're still waiting on our 501c3, our not-for-profit. And once we have that, then we're actually going to do the launch. We're not official yet until we have that. So once we have that, we're going to start posting it on our Facebook page and on Twitter, and we're going to do a bowling clinic at the Special Olympics convention. It's an online convention, a virtual convention in October.
Okay.
So that we'll probably have some more information, some more news there.
So just they need to stay tuned, and it'll be pushed out, and I'm sure Lee Lonzo will push it out through the Champions Together information, and they're real good about communicating. So stay tuned.
We have everybody's email address, and Lee will be sending an email out once we're official, and see if we can get everybody to sign up. And we will have different types of memberships. We'll have a coaches, and then we'll also have if a player, an athlete or a partner wants to join after they graduate, there's a way they can join also and be a part of it.
Well, I will tell you, as complimentary as you were of Lee and Wolf and Bobby Cox, I know firsthand from Lee that they are thrilled that you're a part of this. And so don't underestimate what you bring to the table. And you went through a long list of them there, and there are a lot more out there that I know are going to want to get involved with this, and it's moving. I mean, it's the coolest thing I've ever been a part of, and it's just exploding here. And I thank Jeff Moeller after the Unified Bocce tournament for just including me in the ride. I'm enjoying every minute of this.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's an amazing thing to be a part of, to be around. It's so gratifying for us. It's just, like I said, it's just an amazing thing to be a part of, and to see it grow like it is from 7 years ago when I joined to now. It's night and day.
Yeah.
And it's because so many people have worked so hard. I mean, Lee Lonzo is just tireless. He's just amazing. He's amazing too.
Yeah. And there's no one more proud of everyone else than him. I mean, he's the last one to take credit for it. So this is cool. And I tell people, you want good news in 2020, go to a state bocce tournament. It was good news all day long.
Oh yeah.
So, well, thank you, Alan Bodenstein, for your leadership and for your enthusiasm, and for being a great coach and bringing others along with you. And I look forward to seeing you at the next in-person event. Yeah,
but I appreciate the time, and I appreciate everything you do for us.
Thank you, Alan. All right, we'll see you next time on Unified Champion Spotlight. Take care, everybody.
Take care.